Hi, I'm Jonathan Metter and we're here in PIKO America's service department. Today we want to share with you a little bit about operating switches through your PIKO Digital System using switch decoders. You may already have the PIKO Digital System, or you may have seen our videos giving you the basics of getting trains up and running on the digital system, and you may want to expand into operating switches all over your layout with the PIKO Digital System. So we're here to help you, and let's get started. Of course, the heart of the digital system is the Navigator remote going through the central station that sends the signal over the rails, normally to a decoder in a locomotive, or that decoder, a different decoder, but a decoder can be located next to the tracks and can control a single switch or several switches. And that adds a great deal of convenience. You can just walk around anywhere in your layout with your remote in hand and operate switches just like you would your locomotives from anywhere around the layout. We're going to get started with an explanation of a couple of different components here. We have two different styles of switch decoders. This is the 35013, and that's a switch decoder that operates 4 switches. It has some inputs here, and wires can go out from that switch decoder to 4 switches or 4 pairs of switches. You don't have to use all 4, you can use just one. If you just have a single switch to control, or you don't have any other switches near that particular one, or you just like the elegant look of minimal amount of wiring, our 35016 is what we call a single channel switch decoder, and it's designed to plug right into the terminals on the end of the switch machine. Just tighten down the clamps there. This is less common. It does cost a little more going this route. Most people use the 35013, which operates up to 4 switches. So that's the one we're going to show you. The same basic procedures apply to the other style. So this has a cover on it, and we've already removed the screws with our handy PIKO Phillips screwdriver. And the cover is designed to keep the electronics inside protected from moisture. We call it splash protected. This is not a waterproof device, so if it's going to be somewhere where it could get heavy rain or sprinklers on it, or snow piled on top of it, you want to put it under a little building or something to protect it from the moisture. And this little rubber seal does help to keep out the moisture, even with the wires going out. And we've got a row of terminals here inside the switch decoder, and the first pair of terminals are what we call the programming terminals, and those two we'll show you in just a minute. And then you've got 4 pairs of terminals for wires out to switch machines, and each switch machine takes 2 wires. And then the last pair of terminals here is for power coming in. And one of the neat things, we've already got our power hook up to our track from our digital system right here. That could be anywhere on your layout, and you may have a couple of those hookups just for good power distribution. But then very close to where you're going to locate this switch decoder, and this will save you quite a good deal of wiring, you can use a PIKO power clamp 35270 to take power off the rails, because there's power and signal constantly on the rails all the time, full power and the digital DCC signal, and that's going to hook into your switch decoder here into the 2 power in terminals, which are the last 2 on the right, and that gives you power right into the switch decoder. And then from your switch decoder, you're going to hook up your wires out to the individual switch machines, and you can have up to 4. We've just got a couple here, and we'll hook those up for you in just a second and show you how to proceed from there. Alright, one point to make, we turned the power off by hitting the emergency stop button on our Navigator remote, so there's no power going to the track while we were making those connections. And now when we turn the power back on, you'll notice that we have the little red LED lit. That indicates we're getting power into the switch decoder, and that's coming right off the track just with a little short wire. So these 2 or 3 or 4 switches can be way over on the far side of your layout, and you don't have to run wires all the way from a control panel all the way who knows how many feet across the layout. That can be just a little short wire run right there on that far side of the layout. And we've connected our 2 switches, and as it comes out of the box, our switch decoder is ready to go for your first 4 switches. Those are programmed to, the outputs are programmed to addresses number 1 through 4 for switch decoder address, and those are ready to go. And if you only have 4 switches, there's nothing more to do, and we can go to our Navigator remote, and we're going to select using the M1 button till we get switch communication, and then we're going to enter a number. We can enter 01, switch number 1, and we'll use the little left and right toggle buttons to throw our switch back and forth. We can enter 02 for switch number 2 and immediately throw that switch, and 01 go back to number 1. So that's very simple, and you can have up to 4 there, and if that's all you have, there's nothing more to do. You're running trains and throwing switches all from your handheld remote. If you do need to add some more switches, and you have as many as 1,000 with the PIKO Digital System, you can control that many switches, actually a few over 1,000. You'll have to do a little bit of programming, but it's pretty simple with the system, and we'll show that to you next.